Hello my creative friends, welcome to Card Making 101. Today I'm going to be discussing ink with you. Stampin' Up! Carries several different kinds of ink and each of them have their own purposes. I've found that having the right tools for the right job makes your job so much easier, and the same is true with this. So I'm going to go over some of the different inks that Stampin' Up! Carries, what they do, and how you might want to use them. I'm going to start with StazOn. StazOn is a permanent decorative ink. It's acid-free. It works great on non-porous surfaces. It dries super quickly. In fact, it dries so quickly that you always want to leave it covered, and I even keep the plastic covering that comes with it. You store it upside down so that it stays nice and juicy. But the great thing about it, because it dries so quickly, you can stamp it on your paper or other item, and you can watercolor. It's not going to bleed as easily as some of the other inks. It's permanent, so it lasts forever. It is a great thing to use on tiles. I made this years and years and years ago, but you can stamp on tile and color it in. I also use it on my cards. I find that it gives me a nice, clean, crisp image. I love it. So that's StazOn. Next up is Versamark. Versamark is a watermark ink. It gives a subtle tone-on-tone effect when you use it on colored cardstock. It's clear, but it kind of gives a darker look to your paper. It picks up the image. You can also use it to do heat embossing, so you stamp your image on your paper and then you put embossing powder on and heat it up, and it's really juicy. Mine is dirty because I didn't clean my stamp before I put it on there, but you also want to store this upside down. That way the ink pad stays nice. Next up is the Stampin' Up! Craft Pad. The Craft Pad is very, very juicy. It has a foam pad inside. Let me open it up and show you. It comes in vanilla and white. It's super juicy, like I said, so you can use it to stamp your image. Let me show you an example. Ink up your stamp. See how juicy that is? It's thick. It's almost like a paint or chalk ink. And you stamp your image. There you go. And then you can also use this with embossing powder. I use some white embossing powder and emboss this, and see the difference between just the white and then the embossed white. Now Stampin' Up! Also carries an uninked craft pad, so you can buy a re-inker with the uninked ink pad and you can make whatever color you want. So that's a fun idea. You can use this on fabric, wood, tile, things like that. It's acid-free, fade-resistant, and non-toxic. It does take a while to dry, so even if you don't put embossing powder on, you might want to use your heat gun and just heat set this really quickly, or you just set it aside and make sure you don't have it touching your other projects while it dries, because it does take a while to dry. Now we come to Stampin' Up's core line. They sell their classic inks in collections of ink spots and their classic ink pads. You can buy the ink pads individually. If you want all the colors in a collection, you just want to try them out and see which ones are your favorite before you buy the bigger classic ink pads. The ink spots are a nice option. This is how they look. I keep mine together with sponge dauber. This is the neutrals collection, and a sponge. Stampin' Up! Has designed their ink pad so when the pad is closed, the ink pad is upside down, and that keeps it nice and juicy. To open it, one side, I'll show you, one side's white, the other side has the color. This happens to be Marina Mist. It's got the name written on there and the color. What you do to open and close, you're going to push the end that has the color on it. So I just push it with my thumb, and see, it just pushes a little bit, and there's some resistance. And then what you do is you open it up. You can lay it flat, but I open it up, and then you slide it in. Okay. Then to close it, you can again push on that side, or stick your thumb in and pull it all the way up. Goes over. And close it till it's locked in place. Easy, nice, huh? So again, you're going to push on this end. I've shown this before. You can squeeze it in the middle, and that puts some ink on the lid. You can use a blender pen or an aqua painter to pick up that ink. It's kind of hard to see probably in the video. You can stamp your image. I have a stamp here. By just kind of pressing in the middle, squeeze a little bit. You don't want to rub off the sides because it is a fabric pad, and the threads will kind of come undone a little bit if you do that. It doesn't hurt it, but messes it up a little. Press and lift. There you go. This is from Sprinkled Expressions in the Celebration catalog. Another option that works really well, especially if you have a bigger stamp, is to lay your stamp on your table surface, and you just press upside down. And that works too. When you're done stamping, you always want to close it, so either put your finger in this little slot here, or push, or both. Flip it over, upside down, and there you go. You're ready to store it. So this has just been a quick view snapshot of the inks Stampin' Up! Carries. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment, email me, or just let me know. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.